Ladies and gentlemen, today is the start of a new week, and this week in gaming, in my opinion, is probably going to be pretty insane, because the way the week is starting off is very insane in itself. We have multiple massive Switch 2 leaks, Switch 2 reports, Switch 2 rumors. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to happen, and it seems like it's happening in a big way. Let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So a few days ago, we had some reports saying that the Switch 2 boxes were already assembled, right? The packages were assembled, and I was expecting from that we would start getting massive leaks, whether that be a look at the actual box or maybe the name. Well, it turns out we are getting a bunch of massive leaks. I don't know if it's directly from that, and I don't even know why I mentioned that now because I don't think it has any relevance, but you gotta start a video some way. Now, before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. And also follow me on Instagram. This community is growing. It's a beautiful thing. So hopefully we can hit 14,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And also hit 400 followers on Instagram. Yeah, with your help, that will be possible. But let's just go ahead and get into the video. So now that we're into December, and Nintendo really hasn't came out and said pretty much anything, whether that be for the Switch 2 or just a regular Switch, I really do feel like we're going to get some massive news here. I was expecting we get some kind of big Nintendo announcement because they need to set up the holidays somehow, right? They did do some price drops on the Switch OLED, which is pretty crazy. $75 off the Switch OLED and you get a game, and then $75 off the Switch. The entire time we've been saying, hey, it would be cool if they dropped the price of the Switch. Well, they actually kind of did that, and nobody really cares. So in my opinion, they're doing that to become the best-selling game console of all time, right? Let's get that big final push. But what's the future of Nintendo? Like the Switch 2, how is this all going to play out? And still, what's the console look like? What's the name of it? There's just so many unanswered questions. Well, lucky for us, we have a bunch of rumors and reports and leaks. And if Nintendo's not going to say anything, well, I guess this is how we're going to have to get that information. So first, let's start with this rumor right here. Based on leaks about production for the next Nintendo console, more rumors have spread that the Switch 2 will have a huge upgrade in power over the original Switch. As pointed out by Comic Book, compared to the original Switch's 4GB of RAM. I want to stop for a moment and just put that in perspective. The Nintendo Switch only has 4GB of RAM. I always assumed it was something like 6, maybe even closer to 8. The Switch was able to do a lot with 4GB of RAM. And it actually makes me appreciate the Switch even more now, knowing that's all the RAM this little console had. The next Switch is said to have 12GB of RAM, a 3-time upgrade on the current console. So there was rumors a few months ago that the RAM was going to be increased, but I think we are capping out around 10GB of RAM. I could be wrong, and I will put it on the screen right now. But the Xbox Series S is a highly impressive console. If you really wanted to get into next-gen gaming, the Series S is a great way to do that. The Series S has 10 or 12GB of RAM. So the Switch 2 having the same amount of RAM as an Xbox Series S, I mean, that is an amazing sign about the capabilities and the quality of the games we're going to be able to play on this next console. So even though this is a rumor, I've actually started to see this quite a bit, so I really am starting to think that the Switch 2 will have 12GB of RAM, and that's pretty freaking crazy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a speculation before we actually start getting into leaks. When I said speculation, rumors, and leaks, I really wasn't kidding. Nate the Hate speculates that the Switch 2 will be announced in late January or early February. He has heard industry chatter of a May or June release, and has also heard about a Switch 2 blah event in May. The rumors and reports we've been hearing for the past few weeks is January reveal, March launch. You know, part of me just wants that to happen because it's sooner than what we're seeing here, but just seeing this now, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen somebody say May or June release. Realistically, that might be more realistic. Realistically, that might be more realistic. Could you tell that English is my first language? I don't really talk well sometimes. January reveal, March release. It could happen, but it does seem a little quick. But the whole reason I think I want a March release, besides just playing the console sooner than later, is Mario Day is in March, and I just feel like it would be so damn cool to launch a Switch on Mario Day. But maybe they'll have an event on Mario Day for the Switch 2 if they don't launch it around then. So yeah, this is just some stuff Nate the Hate has heard. As you know, they're very in tune with the gaming industry. Matter of fact, shout out Nate the Hate. I miss him. when they were on the Spawncast podcast. I don't know if they're on there anymore. I haven't watched it in quite a while, but shout out Nate the Hate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's start getting into some actual leaks. If you remember a few days ago, we seen an actual Switch 2 carrying case and we seen the screen protector. And it was kind of hard to put into perspective how big the screen of the Switch 2 was compared to the regular Switch, because the screen protectors came in like a package of 2. Right here, you can actually see the difference. So here is the actual screen protector for the Switch 2. And you got to think, these things are being mass assembled. That's not going to be for no reason, right? This is the regular Switch, so not the Switch OLED. Keep that in mind. The Switch OLED would have a bigger screen. I mean, I guess this is fine because they have it lined up the same. Where this black is right here, that would be the Switch OLED screen. The bezels are pushed back. But look at this right here. If this is really the size of the Switch 2 screen, that is a huge freaking difference. I've mentioned this before, but when I first got a PlayStation Portal, console was what it was, right? The screen took me probably 2 days to get used to, because I hold my Switch probably about right here. But with an 8-inch screen, it was like too big, and I really had to push back like this and get used to holding my hands back like this. So maybe that was just a me problem, but it really did take a while to get used to. I really think this 8-inch screen is going to be a massively big difference. I don't know if we've really seen any reports about the battery, but the battery has to be better, right? Like, a bigger screen is going to take more battery. Now, it's supposed to be an LCD screen, so not OLED, so maybe that will take less battery power. I don't really know how that works. But you have to assume, with an 8-inch screen and way bigger Joy-Cons and just a more powerful console, the battery has to be better than the original Switch battery. And the version 1 Switch actually had a pretty horrible battery. You gotta remember, there was that like refresh. Like, I think it came out, the Switch came out 2017. I think the version 2 Switch came out in 2019. I want to say 2019. Damn, I forgot I got that Switch. I had the original Switch, then I got the version 2 Switch, then I got the Switch OLED. I completely forgot I had the version 2 Switch. But all that did was make the battery better. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I have another Switch 2 leak where we're looking at another Switch 2 accessory. So far, we have seen a Switch 2 case and a Switch 2 protection screen. One thing that I personally never used, but I see people really do enjoy it, is the Nintendo Switch grip. It's like the thing you pop your Switch into and it makes it wider and just more comfortable. I have personally never used one, but I do know people enjoy them, so it would only make sense that you would have that same accessory for the Switch 2, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually look at one. This is the Zen Grip. I'm assuming that's a 2. It's not a very good 2 right there. Have yours in hand for the next gen launch. Top secret, advanced floating design, full port accessibility. So they must know where all the ports are going to be on the console. Dockable design and redesigned ergonomics. I feel like that's just some fancy word that doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, this is the actual grip. Them saying it has full port accessibility basically lets me know they really have already seen the console. Like, they know how big the Joy-Cons are, right? They know how big the console is, but knowing where the exact ports are, that's something I guess in theory you could just guess it would be on top and bottom, but you just want to make sure you have it down packed and have it right. Are these games right here? Is this where your Switch 2 games go? Is that what that is? Or are these buttons? Because you have to remember, when we've seen the Switch 2 Joy-Con, it looked like it had this button on the side, which was very strange. So I can't tell if that's what that is, or is that a game right there? Not really sure. But yeah, I mean, we've seen the screen, we've seen the case, now we're seeing the grip. The console's name and packaging will leak out very soon. And I said a few days ago, I think it happens in December. I'm starting to think that's definitely going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all this information? Because your opinion matters most. It seems like every single day we've got some kind of breaking news for the Switch 2. It really is starting to get exciting because, I mean, if we have to wait till May, it is what it is. But within 6 months, we'll be playing this console. And that's going to be awesome. I love my Switch, but I think I'm going to love my Switch 2 a little bit more. Remember, if you made it to this part of the video, you're amazing, so just join the community. If you hit a like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You will be blessed with 1,000 years of good luck, so I would do that if I were you. And you guys know me, I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.